Well, and that's why I wanted to make this video, is because these are, I mean, all of this, it makes me really go, okay, this is not for the faint of heart.
It is not. Building is, I will tell you right now, building is not for everyone.
Yeah.
It just isn't. I've had customers that I told them, building is probably not for you.
So not to spoil the rest of this video, but that basically sums everything up. If you are looking at building a custom home and you're not great at dealing with stress, you don't like making a lot of decisions, and overall you have an underlying anxiety disorder, building a custom home probably isn't for you. But if you don't fall in that category, this video is absolutely for you. We're talking about the 15 biggest problems people face when dealing with a custom builder and building a custom home. No, it's not a promotion of John and his custom home building company. In fact, he offered to pay me to make this video with him, and I said no. I don't want to be beholden to anybody. I don't want to promote anyone and not just be able to provide the right information that's out there. I told him, you're gonna talk and you're either gonna promote yourself or you're gonna sink yourself, that people will read through the BS, and it's up to you to provide raw, authentic information that's helpful. So let me know in the comments if you feel like he did that. We do not have a working relationship with John yet, but he is being considered at being added to our list of custom builders. And with that said, if you are serious about building a custom home here in Idaho, reach out to us at the phone number or email address listed below. Day, nights, weekends, we can always walk you through that process and set your expectations of what it looks like to build a custom home. So let's get back to the video, and I'll see you at the end to go over what you guys thought. So John, thank you so much for meeting with me today.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to make this video for quite some time because I've talked to people who have built custom homes. I myself have never done it. I've never been through the process, but I hear some of the nightmares that people can face. And if we can help bring to light how people can avoid those issues, I think that's gonna be really valuable for everybody watching.
Yeah, absolutely. Any insight that I can provide and answer some questions for you, I'd love to do that and give some people some realities of what it takes to build a custom home.
Awesome. So the top complaint, the first complaint of the top 15 that people have of the research that I did, it's budget blowouts. We went in thinking it would cost X, we ended up paying X, and plus $100,000. So what are the main reasons custom homes budgets spiral out of control, and how can clients protect themselves from going way over?
Well, there's quite a few answers to that, but I'll touch on about 3 of them. Okay, so the first one is on the design. A lot of times a customer will come in with a budget in mind, say $1 million or whatever that budget may be. But when they go through the design process, they're designing something that's way outside of budget. So the first thing they need to do is they need to have a conversation with the builder and involve their builder in the design process. Don't design something, then bring it to the builder with, hey, here's my design, but my budget is this. It's never gonna work out. So you gotta go into this teamed up with the builder to design something within the budget. Second item that typically happens is working with a builder that's gonna give you allowances or shoot from the hip on a price. Hey, I think it's gonna cost you $750,000 to build this home. They don't really know. They're trying to get you to sign up with them. Then when you go through your selection process and everything, you're choosing things that are way outside the budget because you didn't have that conversation beforehand. You didn't have that heart-to-heart of saying, these are really the wants and items I want in the home and desire to have in the home. And then there's the misunderstanding where you were thinking this, the builder's thinking builder grade on everything, the minimums, and then your worlds apart as far as pricing. And really, when talking to a builder and a builder pricing out the home, builder needs to go through a bidding process on the home. You can never shoot from the hip on a price. Okay. That's where you're gonna have that wide chasm at the end where, hey, my budget was X, the pricing came in at Y, the builder signed a contract with you, now you're stuck. You're stuck. What do you do? And that's where you end up with the big issues, and the L word, litigation, and that nobody wants that. So making sure you have honest conversations with the builder up front, and involving them in the process before you even start thinking about talking about design in the house.
It makes sense. It's kind of like people going in with a Chevy budget but they're looking at Porsches and
Exactly.
going, hey, I want you to make this work. And unfortunately, I'm sure there's builders out there that will go, sure, we can make it. We're just sign on the dotted line, and then there's the conflict.
Yeah, the whole salesman pitch, right? I'll
Yeah.
rope you in, get you involved in it, get a bunch of money from you up front, and now you're stuck.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the next top complaint is timeline delays. They told us 10 months, it took 18. What are the biggest causes of delays in a build, and what can homeowners do up front to keep the timeline realistic?
Yeah, so some of the delays that we're seeing are part of the contractor's fault, some of them are part of the homeowner, and some of them are part due to site and unforeseen conditions in the site and the county. Knowing where you're building, knowing what the county timelines are to get a permit, to get through an inspection process, and how many inspections. Kootenai County is a different inspection process than Bonner County, you know? So having that understanding. And then the unforeseen can happen during course of construction. You get to a job site, you think it's going to take you 2 weeks to do the dig out, you run into a bunch of rock. Now what do? You know, delays like that do happen in construction that are unforeseen.
Yeah.
And then you have the foreseen, that, hey, the builder could have foreseen this happening, or could have planned ahead, could have ordered my windows in advance. Well, they didn't. Now I've got a 3-week delay that I'm waiting on windows to be ordered because they didn't order in time. You know, so those things do happen.
That makes sense. I mean, I've been dealing with that all year, from boat mechanics to landscapers, and sometimes these things are just unavoidable.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is the communication. I think making sure you're hiring somebody that knows how to communicate.
Right.
Because, man, when I'm having to call every single day to go, when are you guys coming back? That's where the aggravation gets in.
Biggest tip I have for people is when they decide, hey, I want to build a custom home and I want to pull the trigger, you better give yourself at least, at a minimum, 6 months in the planning, designing process before you even have an excavator roll out to break ground. That means getting the designs done, getting any studies that you need done on site, going through the county permitting process, all those. Give yourself 6 months. It'll save you a lot of headaches. Don't, I want to build in July and push the go button in June. It's not going to happen. It's just not.
That makes sense. All right, the next big complaint, poor communication from builder, which we just talked about. I never knew what was going on unless I called and asked. What systems do you have in place to keep clients updated and feeling informed throughout the process?
Yeah, Premier, we use a system called BuilderTrend. Okay, so we're informing the customer through that program every step of the way. So anytime our project managers are on site, they're taking pictures, they're taking notes, they're uploading into that system. So whether the homeowner is in the area or outside of the area, they can see what's going on that day and progress reports of what's happening on their home. Important things the homeowner needs to ask the builder, whoever they decide to hire though, is how many homes are you have going on right now? How many project managers do you have? How often do I expect you, the owner, to be on site? Because some owners for construction companies, you'll never see them. They're doing the owner side of things, you know. So if that's
Out
something,
on their boat.
right? It could be. They could be golfing. They could be doing whatever they're doing on vacation. Who knows?
Yeah.
But having that conversation with them and setting that expectation. Do I expect to see you, or will I be working with your project manager? Because if they're expecting to see you there and they have the relationship with you, the builder, but your project manager's the one that they're going to be communicating with the entire time, well, you got to make that decision. You better be meeting that project manager and making sure you guys get along.
Yeah. Don't settle for the bait and switch. All right, the next one, lack of transparency with change orders. They'd tell us it was a $3,000 change, then bill us $9,000. How do you handle change orders in a way that's transparent and fair for the client?
So change orders are one of the things that we try to avoid in construction. The builder doesn't like it, the homeowner doesn't like it. Costs the homeowner more money, costs the builder time and delays, okay? Sometimes though, they're unavoidable. Hey, I really thought I liked this window here. I don't. I want to make it bigger, or I want to eliminate it. Let's just get rid of it, okay? The important thing is make sure that we're not shooting from the hip. It's going to be $1,000 to change out that window. No, time out. I don't know what the cost is going to be on that. Let me get you a price. Are you okay with the time it's going to take, a week or whatever that is, to get you that price, so you have a clear understanding of what that change is going to be? Sometimes it's yes, I am. Sometimes it's no, I want to keep going. Let me know what the price is going to be. So having that clear understanding of, is this a to be determined and we're moving forward? Or do you really want to know what that price is going to be? It's going to take us a little bit of time to reach out, get those numbers, get back to you.
Yeah, that makes sense. For someone, I mean, that's a great system you have for someone who's working with a contractor in a different state.
Right.
What would you recommend that they make sure they have that conversation and get it in writing before
If
they
you're
agree?
somebody that's on a tight budget, make sure you know what that's going to cost you right up front. Because the last thing you want is to say it's going to be $1,000, you misspoke, the contractor misspoke, and then it's $5,000 to really make that change.
Yeah.
So if it's an important change to you, either take the time or don't make the change. Deal with it and move forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next big issue out of the 15 that people have, number 5, it's subpar workmanship. It looked great at first, then the paint peeled and floors warped. How do you ensure consistent quality and workmanship from your subcontractors on every build?
Yeah, so our guys, we use the same trades over and over again. So they're trained on how we build our homes per our specifications and the manufacturer specifications that we use. And we use them over and over and over again, okay? And there's a reason that we do that. Anytime you have a builder that only builds a couple houses a year and they use whoever's available, that's when you end up with that, I'm either going to have a really good guy for this or a not so good guy for that. And then it's kind of like a hodgepodge mix of quality on the house. And it's very important for this climate and where we're living. You got to make sure all the products are installed per manufacturer specification.
Yeah.
I hear time and time again, we don't build that way in North Idaho. Doesn't matter where you're building. You should be building it per manufacturer specifications, and you should be building above and beyond what code requires.
Yeah. For someone who's working with a contractor, different state, what would you recommend to somebody? How do you make sure that they're not going to get that subpar work?
One thing I would do is if they have the ability to show you some of their previous work, that would be the first step. See a previous home that they built, whether it's something that's in construction right now or something they've just completed, and they reach out to one of their customers. If they do a good quality job, there should be no reason why they wouldn't be able to reach out to one of their current or existing customers that have just built their home in the last couple of years and be able to reach out to Mr. and Mrs. Smith and say, hey, can I bring somebody that's interested in building a home and show our work? They're good and the customer liked them, they'd be more than happy to show off their beautiful home. They'd be proud to show you their home.
Yeah. So the next one on the list, design regret.
Yeah.
Now that we live here, I wish we had done the kitchen differently. What are the most common design regrets people have after moving in, and how do you help clients avoid those mistakes?
Really, that's where it comes back to what we talked about previously, is having that conversation up front with the builder and involving them in the design process. It's really easy for a customer and the designer to go down a rabbit hole, and then the builder gets it and goes, well, why didn't you do this or why didn't you do that in the design? So having that conversation up front is really important. Okay. Some of the biggest ones I find is, hey, I really wish we would have spent that extra to get what we wanted, because you can't go back, right? You can remodel, but it's going to cost you a lot more money to remodel than it is just to do it up front.
Right.
So if there's any wants or items that a customer or that you desire to have in your home, really examine that and make sure that, can we do it? Okay, let's jump in and do it. So, but yeah, I would say design-wise, just have that honest conversation with the builder and involve them in the process. Designers are designers. They're good at what they do, but they're not builders. Mm-hmm. So involve the builder. No matter who you're working with, where you're working with, involve the builder. It's the first and foremost thing I would recommend them doing.
Makes sense. Next one, inconsistent or misaligned expectations. I thought that was included. How do you make sure the client knows exactly what they're getting before the first shovel hits the ground?
Yeah, that's something that it's tough. It really is. That's an item that you can have as many conversations as you can with the customer and have clear expectations, have it in writing, but there's always going to be, oh, I thought I was, or why didn't this happen, or why wasn't this included? Never assume, right? You know what they say about people that assume?
Yes, I do.
Right. So having that understanding back and forth, and ask the questions. It's okay to ask the question. Don't be afraid to ask the builder, hey, was this or is this included?
Well, and I will, pro tip for everybody out there, ChatGPT is an amazing tool. You can throw in a contract and literally ask, is this inside that contract? And it will tell you.
Oh, there you go.
And then you can have that conversation.
That's a great tip.
Because I hear that all the time. I deal in contracts. I can't believe how many people go, well, I didn't actually read it. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, okay, I get it. There's legalese, there's a lot of scary things in there, but using technology can make that a lot easier. And if you're uncomfortable with AI, hire an attorney or have somebody read through it.
And there's so many things that go into a home. There's thousands and thousands of components that go into a home, right? And we have dozens and dozens of conversations with clients during before construction even begins, in the pre-construction process. It's easy to forget.
Yeah.
It's easy to, hey, we had that conversation, but I'm not quite sure. So again, open relationship with your contractor, not be afraid to have that conversation, call them. You know, that's what you're hiring them to do, is to build your home. It's okay to ask questions.
All right, so we're on the second half here. Permitting and inspection headaches. We were stuck waiting for weeks because of the county. What are the common hangups with permitting and inspections, and how do you plan around those delays?
First and foremost, plan on delays with the county. They just happen. Okay. The inspector's job is not to go there and pass. Their inspector job is to go there and inspect, and 9 times out of 10, they will find something to fail.
Yeah.
An inspection. They just will. If they went and passed every inspection, they wouldn't have a job anymore. I can tell you that right off the bat.
That's true.
Builders should know, hey, in this county, we have approximately 10 inspections during course of construction. Right now, it looks like they're 3 to 5 business days per inspection. Do the math. Right there's 50 days that you're in between, that you're waiting on inspections. Delays do happen with the county. Just having the customer have that understanding that this is going to happen, you are going to have delays, and inspections might not pass the first time every single time. That's common in the building industry. It just is.
Got it. So there's not really a way to get around that, but just build that into the expectations.
There's no magic wand, no recipe to get around that. It's just part of the process of new construction, is jumping the hurdles with the county. And side note to that, each county is different. Each property is going to be different as well. Flat piece of property is going to have different requirements for reports and things the county is going to need, and costs associated with those, or lack of cost because it's flat, versus something on a hillside, or something that's on a waterfront. They're just going to have different hurdles, different time frames. So having clear understanding when you're looking at a piece of property, what am I going to expect as far as time frame to get this project going?
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, upgrades get out of control. They nickel and dimed us on every upgrade. What's your process for handling upgrades, and how do you help clients avoid spending more than they wanted to?
Yeah, that comes back to that change order, that dreaded word, change order. Nobody likes change orders, I'll tell you right now.
I saw a boat named Change Order once. I thought that was a little rude.
They probably did it because that's how they bought the boat, is based on change orders, right?
Exactly.
So what that comes back to is, again, having that conversation with the builder up front. So what we do, I can tell you what we do. Not everyone does what we do, but we go to all the appointments with the customers and make their selections with them. So if they're going down a rabbit hole and choosing things that are going to be way outside their budget, we're going to reel them back in, pull the reins, reel them back in, and say this is where you need to stick to. And then pricing everything out with majority of their wants is always a good step. Mm-hmm. It's easy to pull back on pricing and get them in within budget. It's a lot harder to do the opposite. So just having that, again, that conversation with the builder, hey, my budget's this. can I even get what I want within that budget? I want to build a 5,000 square foot house, but my budget's $700,000. Not going to happen.
Right.
You know, a lot of headache can be resolved just by having that clear understanding, that honest conversation. It's okay to be honest in this industry. Probably preferred.
Yeah.
You know, to have that honesty in this industry, but it's not always there. It's just not.
That's an important component because everybody goes in expecting the contractor to be the honest one.
Right.
But clients need to be honest too and say, this is our number. We can't go above that.
Right.
Got it.
And please, you know, customers also need to understand a builder's working off of margins here.
Yeah.
So it may feel like there's some nickel and diming going on, but the builder, as much as they would love to say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, here, I'll give this to you for free. They can't. They're running a business. They have employees to feed. They have families, etc.
Boats to fuel. I'm just kidding.
Boats to fuel. Golf courses to go play. No, but in all reality, yeah, it's we can't give away the barn. We just can't.
Yeah. Well, and at the end of the day, you don't want your builder working on such tight margins that they might go out of business because who's going to warranty your stuff?
I've heard horror stories where builders are way underwater on the build and they walk away. Oof. And then what do?
Yeah. All right, so the next one, unforeseen site issues. We didn't realize the land had drainage problems. What kind of site problems catch people off guard, and what should they be doing to uncover those issues before buying land or breaking ground?
Yeah, up here, number one word, rock. Rock.
Is it basalt? The basalt rock?
Basalt is the most common that you're going to find up here, but rock is, if you have a piece of property where you run into rock, I guarantee your excavation budget, whatever it is, if it's not calculated in there, just blew up. Okay? There's a couple things you can do to avoid that. Geotech analysis will typically tell you what you can expect, not always, but what you can expect underneath the soil. Okay? It's an inexpensive insurance to have a geotech analysis done. You have an excavator roll out there, dig a 10-foot test hole. Geotech's out there, he's examining the soil type. That'll tell you right off the bat if you're going to run into a bunch of rock on site or not. Then you can decide, especially if you're in a feasibility on the property to purchase, do I want to proceed forward or not? If I do proceed forward, builder, please let me know what this extra cost is going to be. Because I guarantee if you have rock there, it's going to be a lot more than what you were anticipating.
Yeah.
So,
what if somebody already bought the land?
Yeah.
They really want to build, but then they run into that. What do they do then?
Sell it.
Yeah.
It's either you have this expense and
That's
you can
an
afford.
adverse material fact.
Right.
It.
It's either you have the money to pay for the expense to deal with it, or you have to backtrack and back out, and then you put up the property up. The other issue that we have is, especially up north, Sandpoint area, we have a higher water table. Okay, so again, those test holes will help you in determining that. Yeah, typically flat land though, not going to deal with rock. Anything on a slope, that's something that you're going to have to look at. But yeah, again, inexpensive insurance is have that geotech analysis done. And it's also good for the engineers to have that information as well.
Yeah.
Gives them a little bit more information to size your footings and foundation appropriately so you don't have any settling or anything that could happen in the future on that.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, getting towards the end, builder-homeowner conflict. We ended up in a shouting match. How do you handle disagreements or misunderstandings with clients when the pressure builds mid-project?
So again, you're going into this process kind of like a marriage, okay? Up front, if you think that you're not going to be friends with this person or can be friends with this person and you're already having red flags, probably shouldn't enter into a year-long to 18-month commitment with them to build your dream home.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. Do I like this person? Do we get along? Can I be friends with them? The answer is yes. Proceed to the next step. The answer is no. Might want to keep shopping. Not every person has that match in relationship, or personality types, right? And every builder is different. Every builder has a different process. Some homeowners want to be really hands-on, and some builders are okay with that, and some builders will say, it's my way or the highway, and hit the road, Jack type thing. So
Yeah.
that will resolve a lot of issues right there. Is just make sure that you get along in the beginning with the builder.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to end up in a shouting match. There's always a resolution to every problem out there.
Yeah. And just like with marriage, stay away from attorneys until you have no choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard of builders and homeowners getting counseling.
I was just going to say, is there marriage counselors for builders and homeowners?
Yeah. And it does happen in the industry. You can bring a counselor in, and conflict resolution, etc. And, just like I said, it's a marriage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I wanted to make this video, because these are, all of this, it makes me really go, okay, this is not for the faint of heart.
It is not. Building is, I will tell you right now, building is not for everyone.
Yeah.
It just isn't. I've had customers that I told them, building is probably not for you. Your personality, the way you're handling it might not work out for you. You may be better off just going and buying something existing. So you're absolutely hit the nail on the head. It is not for everyone, and people really need to ask that question to themselves. Do I think I can handle this? How do I deal with stress? How do I deal with unforeseen circumstances? How do I deal with delays?
Delayed gratification too. Yeah, because you're putting up a bunch of money and you're not going to be able, you have to go through the pain before you get the pleasure.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right, number 12, warranty disputes. They wouldn't fix the issues after we moved in. What kind of warranty do you offer, and how do you handle issues after move-in so clients feel supported?
Yeah, so the warranty that we offer is 10 years structural, 2 years on the mechanical, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical, and then 1 year top to bottom in the house. So we do an 11-month walkthrough after the homeowner moves into the home. We always do that blue tape walkthrough that everyone does before the customer moves in. We also do that same walkthrough 11 months in the customer living in the home, and we take care of any minor issues or details at that point as well. But yeah, that's an important question to ask the builder. What's your warranty process?
Yes.
Hey, can I talk to somebody that built a house with you about a year ago? Ask them. What warranty issues did you run into, and did the builder take care of you? Ultimately, things are going to happen during course of construction and afterwards. Builder should be graded on how did they handle them in a timely manner, and did they take care of me on these issues? So, important things to ask.
Yeah.
So whenever they're asking a previous customer that's built, and they're interviewing them to see if that's a builder fit, some good questions to ask.
Yeah.
How do they take care of you on the warranty?
Yeah, absolutely. And coming from the realtor side, it's important to state that most realtors are a little bit too nervous to say any bad thing about a builder. And so it's important that they go and interview the builder and make sure that they get a good feel for them.
Right.
Because, we try to do our fiduciary duties, but there's also legal ramifications sometimes for saying too much.
Sure.
And so that is an important component.
Yeah, you guys walk a thin line.
Yeah, it can be challenging. 13. So 13, selection fatigue. I had to make 100 tiny decisions and I just gave up caring. How do you help clients through the endless list of selections without them getting totally burned out?
Prep them. Prep them. So don't go into this having not made any selections whatsoever. That's where the Pinterest, that's where the house, that's where Googling images, things like that. Having somewhat of an idea, what color do I want the house? What style am I looking for? Am I looking for rustic? Am I looking for modern, farmhouse? Having a little bit of understanding, an idea of what they're looking for before they even go talk to the builder is awesome. It's appreciated by everyone involved, designers, builders, interior designers, architect, everyone.
Yeah.
So I always tell my customers, have you started your dream board yet of what you want in your home? If the answer is no, that's your homework.
Yeah.
Start that,
Yeah.
please, because it'll help you make your selection process go a lot smoother, less time consuming, and ultimately less stressful. If they have it and they don't have an idea and they go and make the selections, they can make the selections, but I guarantee they're going back to remake their selections because they don't know. They're not sure. And then they have, did I make the right selection? They have buyer's remorse almost, selection remorse in a way. It's kind of selection remorse.
Yeah.
They're not sure. take some time, figure it out beforehand.
Got it. All right, number 14, hidden costs and allowance shortfalls. The $10,000 flooring allowance barely covered basic carpet.
Yep.
How do you set realistic allowances up front so clients aren't shocked when they start picking finishes?
Yeah, I don't do allowances.
Okay.
No. So allowances is a bad word in my company. What we like to do is we like to go have the customer select what they want. Pick out your wants. Your wants might not be what you choose ends up going to your home at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But if you start with your wants, then you can scale back. If you give allowances and it's not what you expected, well, it's a lot harder to add when you don't have the funds to add.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah, allowances never end up well for anybody in the end.
Is that just kind of a marketing tool that builders will use?
It's a lazy tool.
Gotcha.
It's a lazy tool. I could throw a $10,000 allowance in there for appliances all day long. Does that get the customer what they want? 9 times out of 10? No, it's not going to get the customer what they want. Going to the appliance store, meeting with the customer, choosing what they want, and then getting those numbers and presenting it to them and say, this is exactly what you want. Here are the numbers. Does it work? Yes, it does. Awesome. Proceed to step 2. So forth, so forth.
Yeah.
Make the selections. It's important to go through and make your selections of what you want. Not, here's my allowances. You're never going to be happy in the end. It's always going to be a shortfall because the builder can't read your mind on what you're wanting on allowances. Everyone's different.
Yeah.
10,000 might work for somebody. Somebody else doesn't even touch the surface.
Got that Cadillac taste.
They want Viking everything.
Chevy budget, yeah.
They want Viking everything. It's a $100,000 budget,
Yeah.
type thing. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
Last one. Project feels too hands-off or too DIY. Either they made all the choices or I had to manage everything myself. How do you balance control and guidance during the build, especially for clients who either want to be hands-on or don't want to worry about anything?
Again, that has to do with the personality of the customer. And is that personality of the customer and the builder going to jive? Ultimately, at the end, the builder and the customer have to determine that.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes we have customers that are super hands-on. They're on site every single day, and they feel like they are project managing everything. Project managers there every day too, but because they're on site and they have that personality, it's unavoidable, right? They're very hands-on.
Yeah.
So that's an honest conversation that needs to have. What's your how often are you going to want to be on site? How much involvement do you want to be on the build? Everyone's different.
Yeah.
I'm in California, I'm dealing with business, or wherever I'm at. You deal with it.
Do you ever think about having your clients take a personality test before you work?
all the time. All the time. And I ask them personality test questions.
Really?
When I'm interviewing them, yeah.
That's smart.
Yeah.
That's really smart.
Simple things like, what's your expectation on the home or the builder, the owner, being there? What's your expectations on time frame, etc.?
Yeah.
Just so they have a clear, and then we go back and we answer those questions to them. Well, it's going to be X amount of time. You said 6 months for the build. That's not feasible. Here's why. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense, man.
setting clear expectations up front for anything, all those questions you just asked, can simply be solved by setting clear expectations up front in a pre-construction meeting. It might be several meetings, but before the excavator breaks ground on that home, these are all conversations that should be had.
Yeah. So I'd say a good summary is make sure that if you're the client, you're being honest.
Yeah.
Make sure you're working with somebody who's honest. You both can communicate easily. You set your expectations up front and make sure you're working within realistic expectations and understand that this is not going to be an easy process, but if you work with the right builder, it's going to be a worthwhile process.
Yeah. And it can be fun too. It can be a fun process. It
Yeah.
can be an exciting process.
Yeah.
It's all in the working relationship and how it's done from start, middle, and finish of the build.
Do you know that builder? No, I'm just kidding. I think, I always try to just set expectations realistically and then try to exceed them. And I think going into a build, that's probably probably the best thing you can do is just understand this. It's gonna have some hang-ups, just like any relationship, but if you work with the right builder, it should be a good experience.
Right. Under promise, over deliver.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, man. Well, I got to go get on my boat.
All right. Sounds good.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
So what do you guys think of John? Do you feel that he's authentic and he's knowledgeable and he's a custom builder that you could see yourself working with? Or do you feel like he needs to work a little bit on some of his answers? It's totally up to you guys. Again, I am not beholden to him. I just want to hear your honest thoughts. The reason I chose to make this video with John is one thing that he said that really stood out to me. He said that everybody goes off of code, that builders like to go off of code as if that is the highest standard, when actually code should be the minimum standard. The standard is what the manufacturer sets at how things should be installed. And he says that he gets all of his contractors up to par with the manufacturer. We'll even send them out to get trained by the manufacturer before they install a product, and he won't install a product that they haven't been trained on how to do it properly. I think that's really important. And having owned several houses and also things that have lots of parts and need to be done properly, they need to be installed properly, I know how important that is. And so for me, I really like that about John, but we have not built a house with him yet. And if you are serious about getting a house built and would like to meet with John, reach out to us at the phone number or email address listed below, day, nights, weekends. That is it for today. I will see you guys on the next video. Make sure you check out the channel and subscribe and all the things. Take care.